The Silent Predator, the Corvette Killer. In this video, we'll be asking just how good is the Aegis Eclipse stealth bomber. So grab your towel and come along to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Verse.
Quantum travel initiated.
To start, a disclaimer. We will never suggest making additional pledges to Star Citizen beyond the base starter packages, being the Aurora or Mustang, as that is all that is needed to play any part of the game. For this reason, whether we recommend a vehicle or not is based on grinding to buy in-game only. With that said, the value of the project is down to each individual, and to some an additional pledge is worth it, whilst to others it's not. Only you know what it's worth to you, so only you can make that choice. With that out of the way, the Aegis Eclipse. Introduced to the Navy 18 years ago, the Eclipse is to Star Citizen what the B-2 Spirit is to the US Air Force. An invisible predator capable of striking with the force of an angered deity without the opponent ever knowing that you were there. Needless to say, its design plays clear homage to the real-life craft. Whilst relatively light, the Eclipse isn't what one would consider a nimble vessel. With an SCM speed of 146 meters per second, a max speed of 981, and a turn rate of 60 degrees per second, it's one of the more sluggish vessels in the small classification. In fact, it's outmaneuvered by some medium vessels. This larger vessel feel extends beyond simple rotation though, with acceleration and especially stopping in the Eclipse feeling laboured, with the engines overheating long before you grind to a halt from full pace. If you're used to flying large vessels, then you'll know the feeling. Put the Eclipse in an atmosphere, however, and it flies pretty good. With its wide-set wings and thin body, it cuts through the air like a knife. Just keep in mind that those wings are really wide, especially if you plan to use a canyon to approach your target. Functionally, the Eclipse is the epitome of a one-trick pony. It cannot carry your cargo or your friend, and it certainly won't win you any races. It exists for one single purpose: deliver the biggest damn torpedo possible right into your target's flank before they have enough warning to drop their big bennies. Fitted with a long-range radar and with its revolver-style bomb bay holding 3 size 9 torpedoes, the Eclipse is the monster that hides under the Hammerhead's bed. All of this, of course, assumes that you don't get spotted, as stealth is this vessel's only real defense. With a 30% reduction in all radar types, cross-section, infrared and electromagnetic, correctly configured, the Eclipse can get inside of a kilometre of the enemy before they know it's there. But if a well-trained fighter complement finds you, you may as well pull the ejection lever there and then. The low health pool of stealth shields will see them quickly fall to a burst of laser fire, and whilst the 10,000 hull HP will see the Eclipse take a few hits, the fragile wings will quickly shear. Fighting back isn't really an option either. The 2 stock Gallinson GT215s are as good as it gets, but this is not enough. With only 600 DPS available from the guns, you'd have more luck in an Aurora. Where the Aurora has no luck, however, is in striking such a good silhouette. No matter the angle you view the Eclipse, it's a good looking vessel. With a distinctive arrowhead shape and matte grey paint scheme, there's no mistaking an Eclipse, assuming you see it, and assuming that you can see out of it. The cockpit of the Eclipse is beautifully designed, with more switches and toggles than one could imagine a function for. It feels like a high-tech bomber, but this compromises its visibility, with up-down visibility being near non-existent. So is there a place for the Eclipse? At 70,000 credits a day to rent and 3.5 million to buy, the Eclipse is far from cheap, but then that's the price you pay to take on the big boys. Additionally, it comes dangerously close in price to Aegis' own Retaliator, which holds twice the torpedo count, is better armed and armoured, and can carry additional crew whilst offering a kitchen and beds, as well as modularity. Whilst the Eclipse boasts much higher stealth capability, the Retaliator is still capable of striking from outside of radar range. If you need to carry bombers in on a carrier, or launch the most munitions possible between 5 crewmen, then the Eclipse certainly earns a seat on the table. For a single heavy target, however, 5 people in a Retaliator may be more appealing, and cost a lot less. This applies to real world cash here too, with the Retaliator pledge being £25 less than the Eclipse. To wrap it up then, the Eclipse is a bit of an odd one. It's perfect at one thing, but it's terrible for anything else. If your goal is to take down corvettes, such as the Hammerhead, there are few ships out there which will serve a solo pilot better, but the close cost of the Retaliator makes it harder to choose as you add more to your crew. Regardless, it's certainly iconic. And that's all on that. Let us know your thoughts on the Eclipse down below. We'll be checking out as many ships as we can during the showdown over the next 2 weeks, but we're curious, which ships are you most excited to play with in the game? And with that, we'll thank you for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.